today, and I'm going to put this in presentation mode, sorry. And so today I'm going to talk about, oh, sorry about that. Not so good, but I will do it. I'm going to talk about team. And I would be very happy if you unmute yourself. I'm very okay with, having a live conversation. And I would like to start by a very, very small exercise. I would like you to think about a time that you had, which was great with a team. So a teamwork, an experience of teamwork that was great. And I would like you to tell us some words to describe your feelings about this great teamwork. So if you want to use the chat, do that. And if you prefer just to say the words, so remember that time, it was a great time with the team, you achieved something. What words come to describe your feelings? I see connectedness. What else?
Contentness.
Sorry?
Being content.
No, absolutely content. Yes. What else? Engaged, energized, fun, positivity, respect for independent decisions. Very interesting. So all positive, right? Yes, that's true. When we work as we have a great teamwork, when we have this connectedness, when we achieve something in a team, this triggers powerful positive feelings and emotions. We talked a lot about positive things during those 2 days, so I'm going to add my stone on that. And that's why people love great teamwork, because that triggers that type of feelings. I very often hear people that I'm working with, like, I will stay in that company because my team is great. They don't tell that about their salary or conditions, but because we have a great team. And this is a very important factor in terms of positiveness. We know that, and I mean, I'm not the most knowledgeable people here. We have a lot of positive psychologists here, but we know that feeling good makes us stronger. We know that when we develop positive emotions like pride, joy, hope, that really foster our resilience, that really improve our self-efficacy and performance. It's all good stuff, right? And so that's what we want in our life. We want to experience things that foster resilience, that improve our level of performances. So great teamwork triggers positive things. And also we know that we need that teamwork in our life. First of all, because alone we cannot survive. We all know that. We also know from motivational theory that when we do something with other people, that triggers more motivation than when we conduct an individual project. Of course, these are more statistics, but it's just global ideas that doesn't work for everybody. That's not rocket science, but we know that. We also know that more and more in large companies, and I see that every day in my practice, we have, as managers, we have to participate to collective projects. And we know that this is a major tendency. And if I'm not able to work with other people, I'm going to be really challenged at some point in my career. So we know that collective work increase a lot when we look at the individual and collective project. This is a very large part, and this high tendency, a trend to increase. And we also know that when we work together, we're more efficient. Okay, we know that if we are all together in a room and we explore ideas with a real brainstorming, we're going to come up then more than if we brainstorm alone. So 8 people moving at 90% of the capacity make a boat go faster than 1% at 110%. Okay, so positive feelings, teamwork is good for us, and also somewhere we have no other choice than to engage ourselves in the teamwork. Still, what I observe is that teamwork remains very often difficult in large organization. And one thing very simple, there's a lot of coaches out there also listen to what I'm saying, and we are a lot hired to bring more collective, to bring more cooperation in the teams. So that's a sign as well. I see that the part of the collective in my business really increased significantly during the past months. And the pandemics also really accentuates that, in a sense that because we're working in distance, we also need to foster more connections, because if not, we're going to lose people. So yes, teamwork is good. Teamwork is pretty much mandatory now, but it's difficult to build in large company. Ego-based things, the fact that under stress, under pressure, we have the tendency to withdraw, and it's very easy to isolate. And also because sometimes there's kind of fake collaboration and not real teamwork, and so people also step out for that. This is very simply put, but this is what I observe, and I thought that was interesting for you to see also from my practice, the type of analysis I make about the difficulty of building sometimes the teams in large corporate environments. So if now I focus a little on couple of things that research tells us on teamwork efficiency. And here again, it's not comprehensive, it's not, everything is not in here, but this is concept that I use really in my trainings. And I will start by something that Lucy the other day talked about, is psychological safety. I'm not going into the details of this research led by Google in 2012, the Aristotle project. I see Lucy smiling, because you can Google that, and that's very interesting. But the central concept is that when the members of the team share the belief that it's safe to be authentic, and so it's safe to create a space for interpersonal relationships, so I make my team efficient. So this is something that I use a lot during the team building activities. Authenticity and trust, daring, being vulnerable, is also a central concept when we work with a team. So what happens in terms of trust? So we know it's a central concept, and it's connected with psychological safety as well. The no silent voice is also a central concept. The fact that everybody needs to talk. And if someone doesn't talk, that tells me something about trust and vulnerability. So what's going on? The fact that the more we communicate as a team, even if it's a conflict, even if it's a fight, even if it's, it's better than not communicating. So we want people to talk. And the fact also that the more we have goals, common goals, and a shared vision, the more the team is going to be efficient. So this is a couple of pieces that I wanted to give you. And now I'd like to, and so I also put a focus on Patrick Lencioni, but this is to complement a little about the importance of trust. So where am I going here? So why do I tell you all of those pieces? Because I'm wondering how I can continue to improve the team dynamics and connection, because this is my passion. This is something that also is a foundational piece of my business. And so I was wondering, how can I modestly at my level continue to contribute to that topic? And in order to do that, I would like to tell you a very quick story of my best experience in a team. So when I really felt that we were doing a great job, And this is a couple of years ago when I was director of communication in a large corporate environment. And this corporate environment was a total mess. We had CEO and executive teams changing all the time. We had teams coming in and out. There were political environments all the time. No real governance. I mean, it was a very difficult environment. And of course, in that environment, my team was composed of totally different people. So I had this wonderful Chinese lady in her 60s who didn't want to do what we were deciding to do. We had this middle-aged lady who was putting all the time new ideas, very interesting, but we were doing nothing with that. We had this high potential, like coming from a prestigious college, could work night and days, but somewhere where pretty much close to new ideas. So, and in the middle of that, a crazy business lady, me, trying to put all those people together and trying to do something with this communication. So why am I telling you this story? Because one day a member of the executive committee came and said, look, we need your team on this project. And this was a project that was totally out of our skill, out of our comfort zone. We were not ready to do that. And it was a very large project. And of course, we had no other choice than to accept. And we started working like dogs all together. And we worked night and days. We achieved something really that was wonderful. Why am I sharing that with you? Is that because that was, for me, the best experience as I had as a team. And that also laid the foundation of a very solid team able to achieve a lot all together. So now I have another question for you. Why do you think that was my best experience as a team? Just speak out loud. Why do you think? No rules, no comfort zone, not our real skills, and we achieved it. So why do you think that was our best experience? Anyone? A couple of ideas coming in the chat. Okay, so I have together in adversity. I love it. I love it. Yes. Overcoming hardship together. Yes. It seemed impossible first. Yes. Finding cohesiveness in your differences. So I love that. I'm going to keep the copy of that chat. And yes, you are all or absolutely what you say makes total sense. We had no direction. We had to invent the things. We had to connect at a high level because that was challenging. So we really had to make that work. And we had a big challenge. So that leads me to my first positive idea. Great teamwork starts like a game with unknown rules. If as a manager I put too much rules, I destroy the dynamics. So each one can interpret that the way he wants, but that's an important idea. And I noticed that not only in my experience, but with a lot of teams I'm working with. Don't give too much rule. So you will see that when I will dig more in some concept, actually what I want to say is that you want to build a great team, the leader needs to step back, let them do the things. Second positive idea, the success of a team does not rely on a leader telling people what to do, but on building leaders inside the team. And this is where I would like to go with you now. And that gave me the idea of how about trying to reinforce leadership skills of each of the team members in order to make the team even more efficient. And in order to dig more in that idea, I would like to get back into a model that I created a couple of years ago, and there's a website FromDoerToLeader if you're more interested about that. And this model was to try to describe how we can step from being a doer, so someone who is always in a doing mode, to a leader. So there's no relationship in my leadership conception of being the CEO or the manager. It's for anybody. So, and equip myself with a couple of key success factors in order to grow myself as a leader. So 5 factors: gain self-awareness, get a vision, delegate, ask for help, and think. And so I thought about how can I take each of these key success factors and explain to you. So it's very experiential that what I do here, because I've just started to do that. How we can start to equip more each member of the team with that in order to build a great team. And so very quickly in that model, we talked a lot about leadership in that group today. So for me, it's consciousness. So it's that. It's I'm a doer when I'm doing things in a kind of automatic way. We all do that sometimes, right? But when I take the time to work around the perception of things and process that in my consciousness, then I become the leader of what I'm doing. So it's in everything that we can do. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but my idea is that you want to have good team member, equip them in order to really understand what's going on in the group and to become that leader as well in order to help them connect at a higher level. Quickly the model, but I will not spend time on that. So 4 levels of leadership: people more operational, L1, L2, and people more conductor, L3, L4. And so I thought, so let's take each of these 5 key success factor, and self-awareness is really a very important piece that each member of the team needs to have in order to build great connection. So a self-awareness is not only I know myself, it's not because I did a DISC or an MBTI. So I know myself, it's an information. Now I'm free to use that the way I want. Self-awareness is really the foundation of emotional and collective intelligence. That's why I think that each of the team member needs to grow in terms of self-awareness. Self-awareness theory is based on the idea that you are not your thoughts, but you like this consciousness, the entity observing your thoughts. You are the thinker, separate and apart from your thoughts. So very central concept in the team dynamics. And we know that average social sensitivity is a key team factor of success. We know that when I can read, someone like stepping back, the tone of voice, how people behave, then I'm going to open up with something adequate in terms of response. When I don't do that, I will maybe, don't have the appropriate behavior. So the more each of the team members are equipped with self-awareness, the better for the team. Second factor is also, positive idea number 3, individual self-awareness enabled to create more collective intelligence. Second factor of this model, so the second leadership factor, get a vision. And here I'm formal. I have worked with hundreds of little teams with different problematics. And I can tell you, if the team is given by the leader, I don't say it's always wrong. I say that it will never have the same impact on the team dynamics than when the vision is built by the team member. So the more team members are educated, are sensitive to the construction of the vision, the more the team is going to operate at a high level. The positive idea number 4. So vision is the result of each individual contribution, not a given by the leader of the team. I could come up with tons of visions. This is not the purpose here. This is a fascinating work to drive a team to build a vision. Fascinating. And I could come up with a lot of things. We are limited in time, but this is a very important factor in terms of leadership of the team. Delegate. And here I'm not going to say it's good to delegate. We all know that the more we can delegate, the better it is, because we will help people grow. But here I'm more talking about this delegation inside the team. And for me, my vision is that here we're talking about roles. The more people are going to be named by, this is not my contribution in terms of result, but I'm more this implementer. I'm more this push decision. I'm more a facilitator in the team. The more people are going to have fun and feel that they are recognized for their unique strengths. So a good way to organize responsibility within the team is really to define role according to personal skills, and not only to the ability to produce that or that. Here, I put wine connoisseur, team maker, motivator, because when I'm working with teams, so this is the example of something I did with a team recently, you can come up with as much as roles as you want. So wine connoisseur, he was happy to be named the wine connoisseur, and that does not hold him back from being a great contributor in the team. So create roles, and that really works. Ask for help inside and outside the team. We know that people who are challenging the status quo in the team make the team grow. So build leadership skills in each of the team member in order to have them ask for help and challenge the status quo and come up with new and fresh ideas for the team. So this is another very important dimension. Think, Barack Obama was reading 2 books per week. So can you imagine that? He had the time. So I think that was during the nights, right? But I want to tell you, the more you work outside of your actual work, the more you grow yourself. So the more you open up thinking, spend time challenging your ideas, so the more you're going actually to be efficient. If you stay in your comfort zone, and we all know that, you will never grow. So a research has found that the team member who challenge the team standards and poor ideas are, yes, very often those who care the most about the success of the team. So those are the smart thinkers, and it's, if each team member has that, we're going to be better as a team. Positive idea number 5, great teams look outside of their playground. So let me just give you like a kind of overview of those positive ideas. So great teamwork starts like a game with unknown rules. Let people be challenged, and they're going to come up with very positive things. The success of the team does not rely on a leader telling people what to do, but on building leaders inside the team. Individual self-awareness enables to create more collective intelligence and emotional intelligence, by the way. Vision is the result of each individual contribution and not a given by the leader of the team. And the last one, so great leaders look outside of their playground. I think that this idea maybe can suggest that we have to look outside of our playground in order to grow as a leader, as people in consciousness of what we want to be. And so I'm going to leave you on that little idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Odile. That was really great. It's fascinating because I was just going through, and every time you were talking about something else, I was seeing links to the research in psychological safety on the resilience of teams in appreciative inquiry and strengths, job crafting, the Pygmalion effect. And I was just like, wow, there's all this theory, and we are talking about positive psychology in practice, and it's sort of really come up into practice here. So thank you so much for that. We have about a minute. Does anyone have any questions, sort of live questions, before we move on? And if not, of course, connect with Odile through the chat, and obviously any other ways we can connect with you. I have your email, so you're not safe from me, but just on social media and so on. But does anyone have any sort of live questions right now, just in the minute we have left?
And I'm very happy to share any tools if you want, of course.